In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy Combs.
The judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
What if, in the shadow of a collapsing detention facility, the guy who once dominated the airwaves in the face of untouchable fame and fortune is now facing the battle of his life? Sure, even his most devoted admirers are having a hard time understanding how Diddy MMS, a name synonymous with success in the music business, got into this situation. It's so dark and twisted. The days of lavish parties, private planes, and designer outfits are over. Instead, cold, hard walls now define his world. Constant conspiracy rumors and the persistent worry that he might never be able to break free from a system that seems to be set up to destroy him.
Just incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent until proven guilty. When you have this much...
The world has been shocked by Diddy's imprisonment at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for its grim conditions. Reports from inside paint a haunting picture of a man who once seemed invincible but is now reduced to a shell of his former self. Observers at his recent court appearances have described him as astonishment slimmer, barely recognizable compared to the vibrant figure he was just months ago. As one journalist put it, the man who once flaunted a lavish lifestyle now looks remarkably thinner, which is perhaps expected after months in a federal detention center. Terrible. Some inmates have referred to the Metropolitan Detention Center as hell on earth, and it's easy to understand why the facility is beset by staffing overload and a litany of maintenance problems that make day-to-day living there nearly intolerable. For someone like Diddy, who had become used to the comforts of mansions and five-star accommodations, the adjustment must be nothing short of brutal. According to reports, prisoners endure freezing temperatures in the winter, oppressive heat in the summer, and filthy living conditions that would break even the toughest spirits.
It's a legitimate concern. No judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day, oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes. And sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet and the ankle monitor.
However, Diddy's suffering isn't limited to the conditions. There are also rumors circulating from inside the prison that he is being singled out and that his food is being tampered with. According to these reports, Diddy is reportedly living off of commissary snacks, which is a far cry from the gourmet meals he used to enjoy. One prison consultant conjectured that Diddy's concerns are not unfounded, implying that strong enemies from the outside could easily exert influence within the prison. Walls pondered that if someone wanted to deliver a message, they wouldn't have to break in. They would only need to locate the appropriate individual inside. Adding to the source of tension is that Diddy's reputation as a well-known prisoner makes him a target for individuals who would want to use his celebrity status as an example, in addition to possible adversaries. Guards, inmates, and even staff members are said to have taken an unusual interest in him, with some allegedly going out of their way to make his life more difficult. Meanwhile, there are rumors that they are leaking details about his daily struggles to the media, which feeds the public's insatiable appetite for drama. Behind Bars presents a unique set of challenges.
Interesting to me that with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
Sources from inside the prison have described Diddy as becoming more and more paranoid, with his once confident demeanor replaced by a constant air of anxiety. He stated that he should spend the majority of his time alone, avoiding interactions with other inmates whenever possible, and that there is an unquestionable psychological component to his current predicament in addition to the physical hardships. The detention center's walls appear to be closing more tightly each day, and the rumors of danger and treachery only get louder.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial.
Judges have refused to budge, citing concerns about potential interference with witnesses if Diddy were allowed to return to his sprawling Miami mansion. Diddy's lawyers have fought tooth and nail to get him released, arguing that the conditions at the detention center are unfit for anyone, let alone someone trying to prepare for a high-stakes trial. Diddy's desperate attempts to secure bail have been repeatedly denied, leaving him trapped in a place he has described to his legal team as unlivable.
If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Diddy's legal maneuvers are blatantly desperate. Outside the prison walls, reactions to Diddy's downfall have been mixed for years. He was a divisive figure who was praised as a genius by some and criticized as cruel by others. Now that he is facing the consequences of his alleged actions, his detractors are taking advantage of the opportunity to revel in his demise. His team has reportedly tried every possible avenue, from directly appealing to the Bureau of Prisons to requesting transfers to other facilities, but so far, every attempt has been met with resistance. Some have even speculated that his inability to secure a transfer may be part of a larger, sinister plan to keep him isolated and vulnerable. Shaden's whispers, one anonymous insider allegedly stated in a tone that implied a long-awaited feeling of justice that FR has spread among those who say he has wronged them in the past and that he is finally receiving what he deserves.
They're going to try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
However, while some rejoice in his demise, others can't help but feel sorry for him since this is a warning about the dangers of power and the frailty of human dignity, not merely a story of a fallen star. Observing Diddy throw away, some have questioned if the penalty actually matches the crime, how much suffering is sufficient to meet the demands of justice, and where the line becomes hazy between cruelty and accountability as the days stretch into weeks in a prison facility notorious for its brutal circumstances. Diddy's condition is only getting worse. According to sources, he is losing weight at a startling rate, making his once muscular body a fragile shell of its former self. Those who have watched his court appearances have observed that his clothing hangs loosely on his body, which is a sharp contrast to the fitted suits he used to wear with pride. His formerly vibrant face now appears hollow and haggard, with eyes that are sunken and filled with a disturbing blend of resignation and fear.
There's no way. They can't move him to the general population. And would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to. They want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they did, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus,
even his health has come under scrutiny, and although his defense team maintains that he is cognitively alert and engaged, others have questioned if he is actually in a state that can handle the demands of his impending trial. The world waits impatiently to see how Diddy's story will play out. Will he emerge from this ordeal stronger than a phoenix rising from the ashes, or will he become another cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful people can fail? The stress of his situation combined with the physical toll of his imprisonment has left some wondering how long he can endure before something gives.
I came here today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time we'll start to see that.
The conspiracy rumors get louder. The stakes could not be higher because, in a world where power and influence rule supreme, the distinction between fact and fiction is frequently blurred, and the real story is RAR, the one we are told. What if Diddy's downfall isn't just the result of his alleged misdeeds? What if there is something deeper, something far more profound? One thing becomes clear: Diddy's story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Behind the scenes, forces are at work that could change everything. Evil in action. Diddy CMS's conspiracy rumors have intensified in recent weeks, and they present a troubling image of a guy who might not only be battling for his freedom but also for his life. Is it possible that Diddy is the victim of a treachery so cunning and vicious that it has imprisoned him in a web of strong forces tugging the strings behind the scenes? Let's examine the mystery that has even his most devoted followers wondering about everything.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Every great empire has a network of guardians who work in the background to ensure that the powerful stay in power. Diddy appeared to be untouchable for years because he built his fortune on his own terms, was a master at reinventing himself, and silenced his detractors with an impressive display of success. However, there are rumors that suggest that Diddy's rise to fame was facilitated by powerful individuals who had their own agendas for keeping him at the top. These individuals, who are frequently referred to as untouchable elites, allegedly protected Diddy from the fallout from a variety of controversies throughout his career, whether they were financial missteps, legal issues, or personal scandals. He always seemed to emerge unscathed, his reputation intact. However, what happens when those who previously stood by you decide it's time for you to fall? According to some insiders, Diddy's current situation is the consequence of a deliberate betrayal by these unseen forces. According to the hypothesis, for years, Diddy had been aware of damaging secrets that could bring down more than just his empire. He cooperated with them, keeping the secrets hidden in return for their protection, but something changed. Perhaps he crossed the line, or perhaps he became a liability. Either way, the same people who had previously protected him are now allegedly planning his demise.
To have them cooperate and testify against Sean Combs, or whether down the line there'll be additional charges and additional defendants on the indictment.
We are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do.
One of the most terrifying parts of this theory is the notion that Diddy's legal issues are only the beginning. There are rumors that his arrest and confinement are a part of a bigger plan to keep him quiet before he can tell what he knows. According to a former Diddy associate who spoke on condition of anonymity, the mogul had been becoming more and more paranoid in the months before his arrest and knew something was coming. The source claimed that he began discussing how he could no longer trust people and felt as though he was being watched. The chronology of events only serves to fuel the flames. It was reported that Diddy was working on a tell-all project just weeks prior to his arrest. Promised to reveal the inner workings of the entertainment industry, including the dubious activities of its most influential figures. Some have conjectured that this project was the tipping point at which the decision-makers decided he needed to be stopped. Could it be that Diddy's choice to come forward was viewed as a betrayal that would not be forgiven?
Maybe some solution where his money could help us craft. I mean, he could build his separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're going to be treated not like everybody else, but a lot like everybody else. Having money doesn't do it. So I wouldn't want to be those judges.
The list of names purportedly related to Diddy's case is also intriguing. According to reports, he gave a corrections officer a piece of paper with a list of people he claimed were part of a Singh network of corruption on it just days prior to his transfer, though the list's contents have not been made public. According to public rumors, it involved prominent politicians, executives, and even some of his former music industry allies. If Diddy's claims are accurate, it would indicate that his arrest was motivated more by silencing someone with too much knowledge than by the charges he faces. The ramifications would be profound.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
However, how can you keep someone as well known as Diddy quiet without drawing notice? Some people think that his treatment holds the key. It appears that every element of his incarceration is intended to break him down, from rumors that he was kept in isolation to claims of food manipulation. A prison consultant with knowledge of the Metropolitan Detention Center said that anything can happen there if you know the right people. The consultant also suggested that Diddy's extreme fears of being poisoned are not wholly unfounded because you can't rule anything out when you're dealing with someone who has as many enemies as he does. Finally, there's the issue of Diddy's abrupt transfer to an undisclosed where officially, the move has been characterized as routine, but insiders have hinted at a darker motive. One theory holds that the transfer was planned to keep him alive for as long as necessary to prevent him from disclosing any secrets, while another theory suggests that it was done to further isolate him and prepare for his trial by cutting him off from his legal team and outside support.
Public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
The possibility of a conspiracy may seem unrealistic, but it is not without precedent. Throughout history, influential people who have threatened to reveal the truth have frequently been silenced in one way or another, and in Diddy's case, the stakes couldn't be higher because, if the rumors are accurate, he is not only battling for his freedom or reputation, but also against forces that will do whatever it takes to further their own agenda. The question still stands: why has Diddy suddenly turned into a target after decades of success and influence? Some people think the answer is in the entertainment industry's changing power dynamics, as there has been an increasing push in recent years for accountability and transparency with an increasing number of people. People like Diddy, who has long been viewed as an untouchable figure, represent both a threat and an opportunity when they come forward to expose wrongdoing in this climate. By taking him down, those in positions of authority can send a message to others who may be considering speaking out, but there is also a darker possibility. What if stage downfall involves not just silencing Diddy but also completely erasing him? Some have noted that his recent court appearances appear to have been staged, with Diddy acting strangely and appearing unrecognizable. Could it be that the man we're seeing is not the real Diddy but rather someone who has been carefully coached or even replaced to keep the story moving forward? It's a crazy theory, but nothing appears completely out of the question in a case as strange as this one.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come?
Even though Diddy's legal team has pledged to fight back, the anxiety around his case is still growing as the trial date draws near, and they appear to be acting under extreme pressure. One of his attorneys was heard declaring that the public is still divided and that this is a war rather than just a legal dispute. Others saw Diddy as a scapegoat, a victim of a system that eats up and spits out anyone who dares to oppose it, while others see him as a fallen hero, a guy who flew too close to the sun and paid the price. As the world watches and waits, the question on everyone's lips is the same. Whatever the truth, one thing is for sure: the Diddy tale is far from over. The forces at play are intricate, and the stakes are bigger than anybody could have predicted. Did he ascend once more, or did his empire ultimately fall apart permanently? What do you think? Is Diddy's downfall a simple result of his actions, or is there a deeper, more sinister plot at work? Could it be that the same forces that once protected him are now planning his demise? It could be in the secrets he's been trying to keep hidden that, if revealed, could change everything. Post your ideas and theories in the space provided below. Till the next time, stay inquisitive and continue challenging the narratives around you. For now, goodbye. Let's continue the discourse and find the truth together.